Alright guys, welcome back. So, before we get too deep into this mission, we're gonna level ourselves up a little tiny bit. So, this is our character customization menu. This is where your role-playing game RPG elements come into play here. So you can see up there at the top right part of the screen, I've got 3 points to spend, and I can spend them on anything that is highlighted in blue. So, oh man, am I gonna be a good guy or a bad guy? You know what? We are going to give ourselves increases biotic protection by 6%, increases pistol and shotgun damage by 5%. We'll come back to that. Electronics is going to teach us overload. That's that ability I opted into learning. So we're going to give ourselves a little bit of training in pistols. We're definitely going to give ourselves electronics because that's going to become handy pretty soon here. And let's also power up our warp a little bit. Warp is, well, I'll explain the abilities as we use them. And then we've also got the ability to power up and control our squad mates. So here we've got Caden. Caden can learn Barrier, which is basically he protects himself using an energy field that he generates with his mind. So we're going to give him that. And then the Sentinel, which is what he is a Sentinel. He is going to just kind of have a better... he's going to have better abilities by leveling him into that. So that's what we're going to go with there. And... oh, Jenkins. Let's see. Alright. So...
hard, Commander. Hostiles everywhere. Keep your guard up.
Yes, sir, Mr. Nihilus, sir. So yeah, guys, Eden Prime, not having the best run of things right now.
What the hell are those?
Gas bags. Don't worry, they're harmless.
So we're not entirely sure of what the threat is here yet. It's definitely not other humans, because we would have had some kind of clue from it. You can see here we've got some people who are not having the best run of it. So let's head up this hill. Something definitely isn't right. Poor Jenkins. Oh, Jenkins, no, not Jenkins. We barely knew him. Alright, so combat, guys. Combat in this game gets kind of a bad rap. Again, this game came out in 2007. And there are reasons why it's not the most solid shooter ever, but it's definitely... Mass Effect 1 is more of an RPG first. You know, it's more of like... It's more of loose combat, like number crunching combat system first, and a shooter second. That's really the way to think about it. But as you can see here, I've paused combat by hitting my right bumper, right? So all of these abilities here are Caden's, and all of these abilities on the bottom here are mine, Shepard, Caden. And each of them do individually different things. So, like Caden's ability right here, Sabotage, overheats nearby enemy weapons and burns them for minor damage. So a very slight damage effect, but primarily shuts down their weapon systems. Now mine here that I'm going to use is called Warp, which damages all nearby enemies and objects and makes them more vulnerable to further damage. So basically it's a slight area of effect damage that makes people more susceptible to damage. So I'm going to hit this guy on the left and then try and see if I can get the Sabotage to hit these two on the right. It didn't quite work. Caden got one. There, mopped him right up. So, like I said, dated combat system by and large, but, you know, if you played it, it seems really bad to people who are just getting into the series in 2018, 11 years later, but, you know, if you got into it when it first came out, it doesn't seem that bad. I know that's kind of a stretch, but it really doesn't seem so bad if you're familiar with it, and you absolutely, you know, you can make it sing if you know what you're doing with it. And poor Jenkins. Never stood a chance.
Ripped right through his shields. Never had a chance.
Sorry, I'll try not to spoil dialogue.
Leave him. We need to finish the mission.
Yeah.
Aye, aye, sir.
I still don't know if I want to be a dick or not, guys. I think the game is definitely a little more interesting if you go the Renegade path, but you make some pretty unforgivable choices. Oh boy. Okay, so real quick here. So all my stuff came back during that period. Caden, if you look in your bottom left corner, I'm covering up the mini-map on the bottom right corner with my ugly mug, but if you look on the bottom left, you'll see my health and Caden's health. So I'm going to tell Caden to use barrier because it's going to protect him a little bit better than just his basic shields. And while he's doing that, I'm going to drop this on these guys. So there's that area of effect damage. We are playing on veteran, so things are going to be a bit more challenging than just the normal difficulty setting.
I've got some burned out buildings here, Shepard. A lot of bodies.
Nihilus.
I'm gonna check it out. I'll try to catch up with you at the dig site.
So Nihilus is out there doing his thing. We're just kind of making our way to him without being, or without getting ourselves killed. So Caden, you want to back off a little bit, buddy? Thanks. Oh man, he's gonna die. There we go. Saved his life. You can use your meta gel, which I'll explain here in a minute, to sort of, you know, save people. It's actually kind of funny because in like these days you've got games like Call of Duty and Battle, like modern games have come back around to this idea of like you have to manually heal yourself a lot of the time, and this game was doing it all the way back in 2007 when a lot of games just featured regenerating health. And you can get regenerating health in this game, but it doesn't come till later. So we're dealing with scouts, and this woman is dealing with a lot worse than us, it would seem. But she can clearly handle herself, for the most part. Yeah, that's bad. Okay, so these guys are a little bit more heavy duty, and if you couldn't tell already, these guys who are hunting her are synthetic. They're robots, basically. So the same as we can pause the combat to use abilities, we can also pause it to change weapons. Now you'll see here Caden being a sentinel, which is like kind of a lighter class. He can't use anything other than the pistol. See, that one ready to go, but assault rifle, shotgun, sniper, all untrained. Whereas with me, because I'm a vanguard, I can use a pistol and a shotgun. Not the most firepower in the world, but significantly more than if I were to just be using a pistol at certain points. So Caden is going to deal with their weapons, and in the meantime, I'm going to give them a nice little push. That guy can't shoot, which means it's the perfect time to run up and shotgun him.
Gunnery Chief Ashley Williams of the 212. You the one in charge here, sir?
I need a status report, now.
Oh, man. We were patrolling the perimeter when the attack hit. We tried to get off a distress call, but they cut off our communications. I've been fighting for my life ever since.
Any idea what kind of enemy we're facing?
I think they're Geth.
The Geth haven't been seen outside the Veil in nearly 200 years. Why are they here now?
They must have come for the beacon.
Oh boy.
The dig site is close, just over that rise.
So
They
that's
might
our
still be
connection
there.
to the hostiles who are here, but we still don't know what they want with the beacon. So, and guys, I know we can tell her to stay here, but it doesn't really matter. She's coming with us, no matter what we say.
We could use your help, Williams.
Aye, aye, sir. It's time for payback.
So let's ask her what she knows about all of this.
What else do you know about the Geth?
Just what I remember from history class back in school. They're synthetics, non-organic life forms with limited AI programming, created by the Quarians a few centuries ago. They were supposed to be a source of cheap labor, but ended up turning on the Quarians and drove them into exile. Well, after that, they just kind of disappeared behind the Perseus Veil. Nobody's really heard much from them since.
It really is just a ton of exposition in this game, and I'm sorry if that's not terribly entertaining, guys, but it's important for context, most of it. I'm not gonna dig through absolutely everything. Like, we don't need to ask her about the beacon, but...
Have you seen a Turian Spectre around here?
There aren't any Turians on Eden Prime, none that I've ever met. Not sure I'd be able to tell if one was a Spectre anyway.
If you saw this guy, you'd know.
Yeah,
There's
you
enough
would.
firepower to wipe out a whole platoon. Luckily, he's on our side.
Doesn't...
Sorry, like I said, no Turians.
Yeah, thanks, Caden. Doesn't really change the fact she hasn't seen
Move
one.
out.
A lot of people dislike Caden and Ashley. We're going to get to know these two a bit as time goes on. I don't have a problem with them. I just think that part of Mass Effect's charm is that the alien species are more interesting than humanity in a lot of ways. And that's not to say that the human characters themselves aren't interesting. It's just that, you know, they do a good job of explaining these fictional characters, you know, these fictional species to you. So real quick here, before we carry on any further, once again, we've got more points to spend. And I think we're going to go into Charm, guys. We're going to be Paragon Shepherd. Just all 3 points straight into Charm. And so you'll see the way that that plays out. I'll point it out when it comes into play. And let's see. Let's give Hayden some first aid. Basically, when I use my healing ability, my manual healing ability for the squad, he gets more out of it. And we're also going to up his barrier a little bit. Caden's a squishy guy, so he goes down quite a bit if you don't take care of him, but I want to take care of him as little as possible. Now, Ashley is a soldier, and she's actually a decent squad member to have because she can use all 4 of the weapon classes without skipping a beat. So let's give her increased health and health regeneration. That's actually a really good thing for her to have. And then we're going to give her overkill on her assault rifle, which is like, it makes her assault rifle super deadly at a higher rate of fire. Very accurate, too, for a limited duration. And then we'll just give her better armor as well. She's a badass, really. Okay, so continuing on down here. Now this is kind of the little tutorial of like, here's a, you know, you don't press anything to get into cover on this game. I just walk up to this, and it actually works pretty well if you know what you're doing. Like, Shepard will just slap his back right into cover, and then if I hit up on my D-pad, both of them will move to the predetermined spot or near it. The squad commands in this game, you know, they're not, it's kind of a sign of the time the game came out. Like, I just told them to get into cover, and Ashley's just kind of like, I'm just going to stay right here. So it's not perfect, but it serves a purpose. So let's move right up here. So we got Geth just beyond those rocks over there. Gonna have Ashley use her overkill ability. You can just hear that, like her assault rifle turns into a cannon. For about, I think it's for like 15-20 seconds or something. Deal with that guy. And we got this guy right over here. Let's just knock him on his ass. And then anyone else? Yes. And we just leveled up again. Have Caden use his. Caden! Come on, Caden. There you go, buddy. Those are your biotics at work, folks. So, here's the dig site, but as you can see, no beacon.
This is the dig site. The beacon was right here. It must have been moved.
Because nothing's ever
By
simple.
who? Our side or the Geth?
Hard to say. Maybe we'll know more after we check out the research camp.
So any survivors?
You think anyone got out of here alive?
If they were lucky. Maybe hiding up in the camp. It's just on the top of this ridge, up the ramps.
Okay, so let's go there. Also, guys, we're going to be looting. You see this little canister right here? It's got
Change
goodies
plans,
inside
Shepard.
of it.
There's a small spaceport up ahead.
So I'm going to be picking my way through all of these and then deciding what to do with them individually later on. Yeah, I'm just going to
I want to check it out. I'll wait for you there.
So Nihilus is scouting up a little ways ahead of us. We don't know exactly where he is. We don't really know where we are at this point either. But this is the observation camp that Ashley was telling us about.
Looks like they hit the camp hard.
Yes, it looks like they did. So you level up a bunch in the early going here. And I'm going to give myself Marksman, which is similar to Ashley's overkill ability, except it's for my pistol, basically. Increases pistol damage and accuracy, reduces chance of overheating. So in this game, guys, the way the combat works, there's no ammo really, because your guns just shoot like heated projectiles, but your guns can overheat. So that's kind of like, they didn't want you scrounging around. It is an RPG. They didn't want you scrounging for resources and supplies on the battlefield. So everything sort of regenerates and comes back to you over time. But if you fire a gun for too long, it's going to be unusable for a little while. So we're going to give ourselves an ability that helps with our pistol damage and heat sink. And then we've got assault training. And then let's upgrade our throw a little bit. Increases the force of throw to 650 newtons, where it has a base of 600. So that's a, you know, it's a decent upgrade. Oop, and then I've got everyone else here too. Give Caden better throw and give Caden just better. Actually, you know what? Let's make his barrier stronger, and let's make his... Let's give him better health. Oh my gosh, I keep forgetting. Sorry. And then Ashley. Upgrade her assault rifle again. and give her better combat armor. I never want Ashley to go down. Shield boost restores a portion of your shields even when you are under fire. So, it's like an immediate sort of get out of jail free card.
Good place for an ambush. Keep your guard up.
So, here we've got more people who've been impaled by the Geth on these spikes.
Oh god, they're still alive.
Yeah, it's kind of messed up.
What did the Geth do to them?
So, very, very bad things is what they did to them. Now, Caden and Ashley. Okay, now these guys are going to start trying to swarm us, almost like zombies. Space zombies. So we want to put them down using our newfangled marksman ability and then get that guy away from us before he does his little EMP blast, and they're all dead. Definitely not pleasant. What have we got over here? A couple more items. I might do the inventory transfer stuff. It's pretty boring, so I might do it while I'm not recording. But we are going to grab everything that I'm aware of. So there we got some Omni-Gel. Omni-Gel is what you use to sort of hack things and manipulate technology.
Security locks engaged.
We're going to do that right now, actually. Just a simple little Simon Says game, basically. So who do we have in here?
Humans, thank the Maker.
Hurry, close the door before they come back.
Scientist and a raving lunatic, from the sounds of it. So what's going on?
Don't worry, we'll protect you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I think we'll be okay now. It looks like everyone's gone.
You're Dr. Warren, the one in charge of the excavation. Do you know what happened to the beacon?
It was moved to the spaceport this morning. Manuel and I stayed behind to help pack up the camp. When the attack came, the Marines held them off long enough for us to hide. They gave their lives to save us.
No one is saved. The age of humanity is ended. Soon, only ruin and corpses will remain.
Gee, what a bucket of sunshine, right? I mean, what can you tell us about what happened?
What else can you tell me about the attack?
It all happened so fast. 1 second we were gathering up our equipment. The next we were hiding in the shed while the Geth swarmed over the camp.
Agents of the destroyers, bringers of darkness, heralds of our extinction.
We could hear the battle outside. Gunfire, screams. I thought it would never end. Then everything went quiet. We just sat there, too afraid to move, until you came along.
Notice that Manuel said that they're agents of the Destroyer, so they're probably not here on their own accord.
Did you notice a Turian in the area?
I saw him, the Prophet, leader of the enemy. He was here before the attack. That's impossible. Nihilus was with us in the Normandy before the attack. He couldn't have been here.
Definitely
I'm
not
sorry.
Nihilus.
Manuel's still a bit unsettled. We haven't seen your Turian. We've been hiding in here since the attack.
What about the beacon?
Can you tell me anything about the beacon?
It's some type of data module from a galaxy-wide communications network. Remarkably well preserved. It could be the greatest scientific discovery of our lifetime. Miraculous new technologies, groundbreaking medical advances. Who knows what secrets are locked inside?
We have unearthed the heart of evil, awakened the beast, unleashed the darkness.
Manuel, please. This isn't the time.
So if I were to go all the way down this particular branch right here where I ask about her assistant,
What's wrong with your assistant?
you can be pretty inhumane
Manuel
to
has a
him, because it's
brilliant
pretty clear the
mind, but
guy's
he's always been a bit
struggling with
unstable.
some mental
Genius and
condition.
madness are two sides of
And
the same coin.
if you really want
Is it
to,
madness to see the future? To see the destruction rushing towards us? To understand there is no escape, no hope? No, I am not mad. I'm the only sane one left.
I gave him an extra dose of his meds.
so
after
if I were to
the
choose
attack.
this option right here, I can shut him up. Shepard would literally punch this poor guy out. And that's kind of indicative of the way that you can choose to play these games for anyone who's not familiar. Like, you can be kind and generous and patient, or you can be a guy who just kind of cuts to the chase, is aggressive, gets physical with people. And, you know, a lot of that might seem like it's on the surface, and a lot of it is. But then there's a whole other side of the game where the way that you interact with people like, characters around you and the people who it impacts directly, like, they'll remember it. And you end up being with a lot of, not these two who we just found, but a lot of the people, especially those who come aboard your ship, you spend significant amounts of time with them, getting to know them, and the way that you choose to interact with people in these games says a lot about the way that you choose to play the character, but more importantly, like, it has ramifications that, again, I'm not going to spoil it here, but it definitely does have impact in the later stages of all the games, just the way that you treat people. So we're playing more of a Paragon Shepard because
You can't stop it. Nobody can stop it. Night is falling. The darkness of eternity.
Hush, Manuel. Go lie down. You'll feel better once the medication kicks in.
Forgot about that particular line. But yeah, guys, like, it really does. A lot of it's just kind of the illusion of choice, but if you watch this all the way through, or if you've played these games all the way through, you'll know that there's actually quite a bit of weight put on player input, and the way that things play out will be different. In some cases, entire plot lines will play out, or at least end completely differently, based on the things that you've chosen to do. So you do have to be kind of careful with how you choose to talk to people, the people you dismiss, or then the people that you cater towards, because, you know, even if you forget your interactions, they probably won't. And the game will make a lot of decisions based off of it. But let's go find Nihilus.
Saren.
Saren, everybody.
Nihilus. This isn't your mission, Saren. What are you doing here?
The Council thought you could use some help on this one.
I wasn't expecting to find the Geth here. The situation's bad.
Don't worry. I've got it under control.
We'll be right back, guys.